Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, no matter how much effort you pour into your goals, the results never quite materialize the way you imagined? You follow every guide, recite every affirmation, and visualize your dreams down to the smallest detail, yet something feels stalled. Life seems to hang in a delicate pause, almost as if the universe itself is waiting for something from you. You might feel frustrated, impatient, or even doubtful of your own abilities, questioning whether manifestation and shifting realities are real at all. But what if the very thing you've been resisting, the act of letting go, is the key that unlocks the door to your desires? The idea of surrender often comes with a misconception. In our fast-paced, achievement-driven world, surrender is mistaken for giving up, for weakness, or for passivity. But surrender is not about abandoning your dreams or resigning yourself to circumstances. True surrender is an active, conscious choice to release the need to control every outcome, to stop gripping life with fear or desperation, and instead align with the flow of existence itself. It is the gentle art of trusting that the universe has been conspiring in your favor all along, even when your mind cannot yet perceive the signs. Think about it for a moment. When you try to force life to bend to your will, you encounter resistance. There is tension between what you want and what is. That tension creates stress, doubt, and a subtle misalignment with the energy of your desires. Yet when you surrender, you do not abandon your dreams. You step into a state of openness, receptivity, and deep inner trust. The contrast between forcing and releasing is profound. One is rooted in fear, in a belief that you must control the outcome to survive or succeed. The other is rooted in love, in the understanding that you are co-creating with a universe infinitely more intelligent than your mind can comprehend. Surrender asks something simple yet revolutionary. It asks you to pause. It asks you to stop pushing, stop striving so desperately, and allow yourself to breathe in the space between effort and fruition. It is in that pause, in that quiet letting go, that the magic begins. The universe waits not because it is testing you or withholding blessings, but because it is waiting for your alignment. It is waiting for you to release the old patterns of resistance, the habits of doubt and control, and step into the version of yourself that is ready to receive. Imagine a river blocked by a dam. No matter how forcefully the water pushes, it cannot flow freely. Only when the dam opens, only when the obstruction is removed, does the river reach the ocean with ease and grace. Your surrender is the opening of that dam. In this journey, we will explore why the universe seems to wait until you surrender, and how this paradoxical act becomes the very catalyst for transformation. You will see that surrender is not a one-time event, but a practice, a continuous alignment of your thoughts, emotions, and energy with the reality you wish to create. You will learn to notice when you are clinging to outcomes, when fear or impatience is clouding your clarity, and how to gently release that grip. As we move forward, imagine yourself shedding the old self that struggles and strives in frustration, and stepping into the new self that is calm, trusting, and aligned. Picture the stuck reality you are trying to force, and contrast it with the shifted reality that flows effortlessly once you let go. This section is your invitation to open your heart and mind, to feel the subtle pull of something greater than your own control, and to begin the delicate, transformative art of surrender. Even before you consciously manifest, the universe is already ready to respond. Your willingness to release, to let go, and to trust is what finally allows the energy of your desires to flow. Surrender is not a failure. It is the final, necessary step that precedes the miraculous. In the next sections, we will dive deeper into understanding what true surrender is, how it interacts with quantum manifestation, and how you can recognize when you are fully aligned to receive. Take a moment now. Close your eyes if you wish, and feel the tension in your body, the mental chatter that always wants things to happen in your own time. Breathe and allow yourself to imagine a space where you no longer have to force life, where the flow of the universe carries you effortlessly toward your desires. That space, that stillness, is where surrender begins, and where your true manifestation journey can unfold. Surrender is a word often misunderstood. When most people hear it, images of defeat or giving up immediately come to mind. Yet, in the realm of quantum manifestation and spiritual self-development, surrender is something profoundly different. It is a deliberate, conscious act of aligning yourself with life rather than fighting against it. It is the recognition that you do not need to control every variable, that you are not solely responsible for bending the universe to your will. Instead, surrender is about creating a partnership with the intelligence that governs reality, a dance between intention and trust, effort and release. Many seekers struggle because they confuse surrender with passivity. They fear that if they stop pushing, their dreams will vanish into nothingness. But the truth is the opposite. Surrender does not remove your dreams, it activates them. It shifts you from a place of struggle into a space of alignment, where energy flows naturally and manifestation becomes effortless. Imagine planting a seed. You can water it, provide sunlight, and nurture the soil, but you cannot force it to grow faster than its natural timing. Similarly, your desires require both intention and the patience to allow the natural unfolding of life. Surrender is that patience coupled with unwavering trust. To truly understand surrender, we must also recognize the subtle difference between fear-driven release and alignment-based surrender. Fear-driven release occurs when you feel defeated, when life seems too difficult, or when your efforts repeatedly fail. It is reactive, born of desperation or exhaustion. Alignment-based surrender, on the other hand, is proactive. It comes from a place of inner clarity, of knowing that your value and worth are not tied to immediate results, and that the universe is always orchestrating circumstances in your favor. In this type of surrender, you do not abandon your dreams, you refine your energy, you clear resistance, and you allow your reality to shift naturally toward your intention. Contrast can help us see surrender more clearly. On one side is the old self, constantly pushing, striving, and resisting. This self measures success by tangible outcomes, by control over every detail. It is a self exhausted by constant effort and frustrated by life's unpredictability. On the other side is the new self, the one who embraces surrender. This self understands that flow is not laziness, that patience is not weakness, and that trust is a powerful form of action. The new self does not fight against life but moves with it, making subtle, intentional choices that align energy, emotion, and thought with the reality it seeks. There is a natural rhythm to this process. The universe, in its infinite intelligence, often waits for this moment of surrender before delivering what you desire. It is not withholding, rather it is sensitive to your alignment. When you cling, resist, or act from fear, you create energetic blockages that slow manifestation. When you release even in small ways, these blockages dissolve. The act of surrender signals to the universe, I am ready. I trust. I am aligned with what is meant for me. That readiness, that alignment, is what finally opens the doors that were previously closed. Surrender also requires self-awareness. It asks you to pause and reflect. Where am I holding tension? Where am I trying to control outcomes? What stories am I telling myself that keep me trapped in struggle? These questions are not meant to induce guilt but to guide you toward understanding. Once you recognize the areas where resistance lives, you can consciously choose to release them. This process is deeply transformative because it shifts your energy from struggle to receptivity, from doubt to trust, from old patterns to a new way of being. Stories and metaphors can illuminate this concept further. Think of a tightrope walker. If they grip the rope in fear, their muscles tense, their balance falters, and they are more likely to fall. If they surrender to the rhythm of movement, trusting their training and the rope itself, they can glide across with ease and grace. Manifestation works similarly. Surrender is not abandonment. It is a precise balance of trust, focus, and awareness. It is the energetic alignment that allows your desires to move toward you rather than forcing yourself to chase them desperately. Another way to see surrender is through the lens of vibration and energy. Every thought, every emotion carries a frequency. Resistance, fear, and control tighten your energy, creating a low-frequency vibration that repels the reality you want to attract. Alignment, trust, and release raise your vibration, opening space for higher-frequency realities to enter. Surrender is the bridge between intention and manifestation. It transforms your inner state so your external world can reflect it. Finally, it is essential to remember that surrender is a practice, not a destination. You will not wake up fully surrendered one day, just as you do not suddenly master meditation or self-awareness overnight. It is a series of small, intentional acts, choosing patience over impatience, trust over doubt, flow over force. Each time you notice resistance and consciously release it, you reinforce the new neural pathways of alignment. Over time, surrender becomes less of a deliberate effort and more of a natural state of being, one where the universe no longer waits but responds instantaneously to your vibration. In essence, understanding surrender means seeing it not as a loss of control but as the most potent form of conscious control available. It is the choice to stop struggling against life, to trust in your inherent connection to the universe, and to step fully into a reality that mirrors your deepest intentions. The moment you embrace surrender, you shift from the old paradigm of effort and resistance to a new paradigm of alignment and effortless creation. This understanding lays the groundwork for the next step, exploring how surrender interacts with the very fabric of reality itself, the quantum mechanics of letting go. Only when you grasp surrender on a deep, emotional, and energetic level can you begin to see how your release directly transforms your manifestations, your experiences, and the trajectory of your life. When we speak of surrender in the context of manifestation, we are not merely talking about a psychological or emotional shift. We are speaking of a change at the very energetic core of reality. In the quantum world, reality is not fixed. It is a web of infinite possibilities, constantly shaped by observation, intention, and vibration. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs act as energy fields, influencing the probabilities around you. This is why surrender becomes not just a spiritual principle but a quantum principle, a key that unlocks the door to realities that previously seemed impossible. Imagine the old self, the one who clings, pushes, and demands, as someone trying to hold a handful of sand under running water. No matter how tightly you grasp it, the water slips through your fingers. That handful of sand represents your desires, your dreams, the reality you want to manifest. The act of forcing only creates friction, tension, and resistance. Now imagine opening your hand, letting the sand float freely, trusting that the water itself will guide it to the right place. This is surrender in action. It is not inaction. It is alignment with the natural flow of energy, allowing the quantum field to organize circumstances in your favor. Quantum mechanics shows us that observation shapes reality. When you fixate on outcomes with desperation or anxiety, you are creating a narrow field of energy that often repels the very thing you seek. Your energy becomes tense, contracted, and fearful. In contrast, when you surrender, you broaden your energetic field. You move from a frequency of tension to one of openness, curiosity, and trust. This expanded state allows multiple possibilities to exist simultaneously and increases the probability that your desires will manifest in ways you may not have imagined, but in ways that are perfect for your highest growth. Surrender also interacts with what can be called the energy of resistance. Every fear, doubt, and need for control is an energetic barrier that blocks manifestation. Even a small amount of resistance can delay results, create repeated cycles of frustration, or attract experiences that reinforce the old pattern of struggle. Letting go of this resistance is like clearing debris from a river. Once removed, the current flows freely, carrying your intentions downstream without obstruction. The quantum field responds instantly to this shift in energy. Your inner state becomes a magnet, drawing experiences, people, and circumstances that match the vibration of trust and alignment. To understand this more practically, consider the role of emotions. In quantum manifestation, emotions are more than feelings, they are the frequency through which reality responds. High-vibration emotions such as joy, gratitude, and peace align you with possibilities that are expansive and harmonious. Low-vibration emotions like fear, frustration, and desperation contract your energy, limiting what can enter your experience. Surrender is the act of moving from low to high vibration, releasing attachment to outcomes, and cultivating emotional states that resonate with your desired reality. This is why practices like meditation, mindful breathing, visualization, and journaling are so powerful. They help shift your energy from contraction to expansion. Contrast is again useful here. The old self resists life, trying to control every variable and often experiencing delayed gratification, disappointment, or stagnation. The new self, having embraced surrender, flows with life, noticing signs, synchronicities, and subtle nudges that guide manifestation. This new self understands that the universe is a co-creator, responding not to demand but to alignment. The very act of letting go signals readiness, a quantum vibration that says, "I trust, I am open, I am aligned." In this space, miracles no longer feel extraordinary, they feel inevitable. Surrender also enhances clarity. When you are caught in struggle or obsession, your perception becomes clouded. You may miss opportunities, misinterpret signs, or act out of fear instead of discernment. But the act of letting go clears the mental fog. You begin to see patterns and connections that were invisible before. Ideas, solutions, and pathways emerge naturally, often in unexpected ways. This is a reflection of quantum principles. When your energy is free from resistance, the field can organize itself in the most optimal way. You do not need to force answers. They come to you as naturally as sunlight streaming through a window. Practical application of these principles requires both awareness and action. It is not enough to simply say, "I surrender." You must feel it, embody it, and practice it in daily life. Start by noticing where you are clinging, to people, situations, outcomes, or timelines. Then consciously release the need to control. Replace anxious thoughts with affirmations of trust and alignment, such as, "I am aligned with my highest good," or, "I release what I cannot control and allow life to unfold." Observe how your inner state changes, how your energy expands, and how opportunities begin to appear with greater ease. Each small act of release strengthens the habit of surrender, embedding it deeply into your energetic patterns. Another profound aspect of surrender in the quantum field is the concept of co-creation. Manifestation is not a solo effort. It is a dialogue with the universe. The moment you surrender, you invite this dialogue. You move from pushing and demanding to listening and responding. You notice subtle nudges, synchronicities, and intuitive impulses guiding your actions. These signs are the universe's way of orchestrating your reality in alignment with your highest good. The more you surrender, the more fluent you become in reading these signs, the more harmonious your reality becomes. Surrender also reframes time. Often we resist because we want results immediately, measuring success against clocks, calendars, or timelines. But in the quantum realm, time is fluid. What seems delayed is often perfectly timed. When you release attachment to timing, you allow your manifestations to unfold in alignment with the optimal flow of life. You shift from anxiety-driven action to inspired action, acting when your intuition guides you rather than when your fear dictates. This is why those who master surrender often experience what seems like instant manifestation. Their alignment meets the perfect timing of reality itself. Finally, surrender is transformative because it does more than manifest desires. It transforms you. As you release control and align with the flow, you shed old identities, beliefs, and emotional patterns that no longer serve you. The old self, defined by struggle and resistance, dissolves. The new self, defined by trust, clarity, and alignment, emerges. In this sense, surrender is both the gateway and the journey. It is not only the key to quantum manifestation but the process by which you evolve into a higher version of yourself, capable of living in harmony with the infinite possibilities of the universe. Understanding the quantum mechanics of letting go sets the stage for recognizing when you are truly ready to receive. Once you embody surrender, the subtle signs of alignment begin to appear in your daily life, guiding you, reassuring you, and confirming that the universe is working with you. These signs, often overlooked by the old self, become clear signals of manifestation unfolding. The next section will help you identify these signs and deepen your awareness, ensuring that your practice of surrender translates directly into lived reality. After embracing surrender and understanding the quantum mechanics of letting go, a new awareness begins to emerge within you. You start to notice subtle shifts, both within and around you, that signal your alignment with the universe. These are the signs that you are ready to receive, the gentle confirmations that your energy, intention, and vibration are in harmony with the reality you wish to manifest. Recognizing these signs is crucial, because they offer guidance, reassurance, and encouragement along your journey, helping you distinguish between resistance-driven illusions and true alignment. The first and most profound sign is emotional clarity. When you are aligned, your emotions feel lighter, freer, and more expansive. You notice that fear, frustration, and doubt no longer dominate your inner landscape. Instead, there is a growing sense of peace, excitement, and calm certainty. You might feel a quiet joy bubbling beneath the surface, a subtle knowing that life is unfolding perfectly, even if circumstances on the outside seem unchanged. Contrast this with the old self, which experiences impatience, anxiety, and obsessive thoughts. The new self, having embraced surrender, feels a natural rhythm and balance that mirrors the flow of the universe itself. Synchronicities begin to appear more frequently. Perhaps a conversation with a stranger provides exactly the insight you needed, or you stumble upon an article, a book, or a video that feels divinely timed. You may notice recurring numbers, patterns, or symbols that seem to resonate deeply, as if the universe is gently nudging you along your path. These synchronistic experiences are not random. They are the markers of your alignment, the universe's way of signaling that your energetic vibration matches the reality you are manifesting. The more attuned you become to these signs, the more confident you feel in your practice of surrender. Intuition becomes sharper. You start to sense the right choices, the right timing, and the right people to involve in your journey. Decisions that once felt confusing or overwhelming now seem effortless, guided by an inner knowing rather than external pressure. This is a sign that your consciousness is operating in harmony with the quantum field. You are no longer relying solely on logic or force. Instead, you are collaborating with the intelligence of the universe, receiving guidance through subtle nudges, gut feelings, and inner clarity. The old self struggles with indecision and overthinking, while the new self navigates life with fluidity, trusting the inner compass that arises from alignment. Physical sensations may also reflect this readiness. Some people notice a lightness in the body, a sense of openness in the chest, or a relaxed, flowing energy throughout their being. Others may experience bursts of energy, heightened creativity, or a feeling of expansion as if the body itself is resonating with new possibilities. These physical cues are subtle reminders that surrender and alignment are not just mental exercises, they are embodied experiences. Your body begins to reflect the energetic state you are cultivating within, creating a feedback loop that reinforces your readiness to receive. Another key indicator is a shift in your perspective on challenges and obstacles. The old self perceives setbacks as failures or signs of inadequacy. The new self, however, interprets difficulties as opportunities for growth, lessons in patience, and confirmations that the universe is orchestrating events in alignment with a greater plan. Challenges no longer create resistance. Instead, they provide clarity about where energy is still contracted and where further surrender is needed. This perspective allows you to maintain emotional equilibrium, even in the face of uncertainty, and positions you to receive your desires with grace and ease. You may also notice a growing sense of gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude is not simply about acknowledging what you already have, it is a powerful energetic signal that opens the door to more. When you feel grateful, your vibration rises, aligning you with the flow of abundance. The act of noticing small blessings, celebrating progress, and appreciating the present moment communicates to the universe that you are ready to receive more of what you seek. Contrast this with the old self, which focuses on lack, comparison, or unmet expectations. Gratitude shifts your consciousness from scarcity to abundance, creating the energetic conditions necessary for manifestation. A willingness to take inspired action is another sign. Readiness does not mean passivity, it means acting from a state of alignment rather than compulsion. Inspired action flows naturally, it feels effortless, intuitive, and right. You may find yourself drawn to opportunities, ideas, or projects without forcing them, guided by a deep inner knowing rather than external pressure. The old self often confuses frantic effort with progress, while the new self understands that aligned action, in resonance with intention, is far more powerful than relentless striving. Each small step taken from this place of trust compounds the effects of surrender, accelerating the manifestation process. Finally, there is a sense of inner confidence and surrender coexisting. You no longer feel the need to control outcomes because you trust that what you desire is already on its way. You understand that the universe responds to your energy, not your frantic efforts. There is an inner peace that allows you to move through life with calm assurance, even when external circumstances are still unfolding. This balance between trust and action, surrender and manifestation, is the hallmark of true readiness. It is the moment when the universe ceases to wait and begins to respond fully to your aligned energy. Recognizing these signs is not about creating expectations or judgment. It is about developing awareness, tuning into subtle shifts, and honoring the process of alignment. When you notice emotional clarity, synchronicities, heightened intuition, physical resonance, gratitude, inspired action, and inner confidence, you are witnessing the universe's response to your surrender. These are confirmations that your energy is in harmony with the reality you wish to create. As you cultivate this awareness, you begin to see the contrast more clearly between the old self and the new self. The old self struggles, resists, and doubts. The new self aligns, trusts, and receives. You become increasingly attuned to your vibrational state, understanding that the flow of life is no longer dependent on force but on resonance. This awareness is not merely intellectual, it is experiential. You feel it, embody it, and move through life with a sense of grace that was previously unimaginable. By paying attention to these signs and responding with trust, patience, and gratitude, you create the conditions for effortless manifestation. You step fully into the new paradigm of alignment, where the universe works with you, not against you, and your desires no longer feel distant or unattainable. This readiness to receive is the culmination of surrender, the natural next step after letting go and understanding the quantum mechanics of your own energy. In the next and final section, we will explore how to integrate all these insights into daily life, ensuring that surrender, alignment, and readiness to receive become not just concepts, but lived, embodied realities. You will learn how to anchor these principles, transform your daily practices, and move fully into the new self capable of co-creating effortlessly with the universe. As this journey draws to a close, take a moment to breathe and feel how far you've come. From confusion and resistance to clarity and surrender, you've moved through a profound inner transformation. You've learned that the universe doesn't delay your manifestations to punish you. It waits until you align, until you are ready to receive without fear, without grasping. Surrender is not weakness. It is the most powerful form of trust you can embody. It is the moment when you stop chasing outcomes and begin allowing them to flow toward you. In surrender, you discover that control was never the source of your power, alignment was. The universe responds not to your struggle but to your vibration. Every time you release tension, every time you choose patience instead of panic, you step deeper into that alignment. The old self that once fought, doubted, and resisted begins to fade. In its place emerges the new self, calm, centered, and open. The moment you trust life to unfold naturally, reality reorganizes itself around that trust. The signs of readiness you've learned to recognize: emotional clarity, synchronicities, intuitive nudges, gratitude, and effortless action, are not random. They are confirmations that your energy and the energy of your desires are now one and the same. You are no longer chasing what you want, you are attracting it by being it. So as you move forward, remember, surrender is not the end of effort. It is the transformation of effort into flow. It is the art of co-creating with the universe instead of struggling against it. Take a deep breath, let your shoulders soften, and allow yourself to feel that subtle peace. The waiting is over. The universe is no longer holding back. It's simply responding to the energy you now embody. And that energy says clearly and confidently, I am ready to receive.